Hey you guys, so yesterday I told you that I was going to come on here and I was going to tell you how business mistakes are causing me to have to take an L. So let's get into it. Okay, so three major business mistakes that is causing me to take a loss. I'm sharing this with you. So did you know that Instagram and all the glitz and glam about being a business owner isn't all what it's chopped up to be? It's hard work, it's learning from your mistakes, and it's strategy. Strategy is key when it comes to owning a business, is what I'm learning. Because I'm not talking from a place of being an expert, I'm talking from a place of being a student. So, okay, one of the things that I learned, the very first thing that I learned is high overhead. Okay, so as you guys know, for you guys that don't know, my name is Jennifer Allen. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I am licensed in the state of Illinois, Tennessee, Texas, and I'm pending California. And I'm going to tell you about California here in a minute too. So I'm licensed in several states. I'm LCSW, and I own, operate, and I founded Veneva Health. Look me up. Okay, so I'm the only person that works for Veneva Health. And what I'm starting to kind of like identify and unravel is that may always be, and I'll tell you why. So, okay, high overhead. So with the high overhead, working from home has minimized a lot of my cost. So I didn't need an in-person location. I didn't need furniture. I didn't need all these different things for an office in addition to my closet. This is, for those of you that know, this is my husband's closet that I turned into an office. My closet. So I started to kind of get a little antsy, right? I was like, oh, I want to expand and I want to have an in-person location and this is going to be so great. So I got this in-person location and yeah, I'm spending money on a location that I have never stepped foot in outside of the first day. I literally put a couch in this location and I have never been back. Like, I haven't been back to check on it. I haven't been back to, do anything to decorate it, anything like that. One, that's because it takes time. It takes time, intentionality. The very first day I was bouncing around, going to like Facebook Marketplace and so excited about decorating this office and so on and so on and forth. It was so much fun. That's because I've learned that was new. It was very much so new. And that's why I was like, so excited about it. But huge business mistake. Right now I'm paying rent on something that I'm not utilizing. So in order to cut my losses, I called my landowner and leaseholder and trying to get out of this lease, which they are really nice about it. And they are going to let me out the lease, but they have to find somebody to rent the place first. So big mistake, seeing the glitz and glam of like little offices and like, oh, this is cute and I can decorate it how I want to. And like, hearing the stories of other people, which influenced my decision to like go in person. But I don't need to be in person. I'm remote. My clients like it that way. I like it that way. Okay. And this office is like my space. It's small, it's intimate. I have everything I need in here, and this is where I'm gonna stay. I am gonna continue to be a CEO from my closet. So that's one. And then two, another business mistake that I've learned is that insurances. And now let me say this disclaimer: these are my personal business mistakes, what I consider a mistake for my business, because I started running it in a different way than what I knew was beneficial, because I wanted to try something new. But I'm learning it's not beneficial, honey. It's delaying me, it's slowing me down. So I got on this new EHR, and I won't tell you which one because nobody cut me no checks. I got on this new EHR, which is an electric health record. So whenever you hear somebody say EHR, electric health record, is where I keep all my notes. When I see my clients for our sessions, that's where you keep the notes. So I got on this new EHR and I was like, oh, okay, I wanted to do all the bells and whistles. So I got all the bells and whistles on there. I got the most expensive package. I'm paying for that, and I've never used it. Never used it. It's pretty expensive too. So that's the second mistake that I've made. being overzealous, feeling like I need to be paneled by insurances. That's another thing. This EHR, this company was paneling me with insurances. And that just means, as a provider, that if you come to see me, you have like Blue Cross Blue Shield, I can see you because you have Blue Cross Blue Shield and my company takes it. You have to be on the panel. It's a process. It takes months to get paneled, so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. But what I'm learning is, and this is no offense to anybody, it's really about me being proficient and efficient in how I'm going to run my business, is I don't want to take insurances. I don't want to take insurances outside of EAP. EAP is what I told you guys before about. It's an employee assistance program. So an employee assistance program is basically like, you know, if you're employed and your job offers employee benefits like free sessions to see a therapist, then that's how, you know, I would be able to kind of like see you. Or cash, like, you know, and when I say cash, like, you know, credit card, health savings account, stuff like that. But like, you know, not going through the insurances, because it's a process. And for each thing that I add on, I have to learn it first, because I can hire somebody to do it or whatever case may be, but then that's more money, number one. And then two, me learning it is more time. So I have insight about it. I started credentialing myself, and now I've gotten to a point where it's like, you know what? I'm not going to take insurances. So I'll be on certain platforms. You can Google me. You can look me up. I'm going to update my website. I'm going to update my website where you can find out which platforms I'm on. You can email me at jenniferallen@venivawellness.com, and we can discuss it. But like, you know, I can give you a super bill so you can give to your insurances and get like, you know, out of network benefits. So on and so forth. I can explain it to you. But as far as insurance, I am getting ready to stop taking insurance, because if I don't, and I mean, I'm going to need an office manager. And like I said, I'm trying to minimize my overhead. So I mentioned a little bit earlier that I wanted to be like, you know, the only employee of my company. At one point, I was like, I'm going to have like, you know, all these other therapists, and like, I'm going to manage this huge company and all these different things and so on and so forth. This stuff is stressful, being responsible for my own self. I don't know if I'll be able to be responsible for anybody else. I'm not saying by any means any of these things that I've described that I wouldn't be capable of doing. I'm not saying any of these things that I described is not successful or beneficial for other people. It's just where me and Veniva, where we are, okay? And what I'm learning through putting in time into developing this company and this business. And these things right now, for me, at this point in my journey, aren't beneficial. May change down the line, but right now, I'm going to say, you know, the owner of Veniva, I'm going to be a sole proprietor. I'm going to see people through EAP, and I'll see people who cash pay. And then sliding scale too. So like, you know, if you can't afford the fee, because I became a therapist to help people, not to like, you know, just say, oh, well, if you don't have $200 an hour, I'm not going to help you. I came to a therapist to help people. So I want to help you, and I am going to help you. But realistically, like, you know, being a therapist is my career. So it has to be a reciprocal thing as it comes to that. But my goal, my focus is helping you. That's why I developed this company, and that's why I'll continue to run this company. Okay. So, you know, we talked about the overhead. We talked about delayed income and like, you know, having to hire other employees. I just mentally don't have the capacity for that. And then focusing on perfection instead of profitability. So I wanted everything to be perfect. Like, you know, if there was an offering, if it was something I felt like I needed for my business, I'm going to get the most expensive package. I'm going to get the top. I'm going to get the creme de la creme. And I want it to be the best for my clients. Then I started to, this is kind of like shifting gears away from like money. Then I started to like, you know, I'm one of those people that I love. This is the charger. I'm one of those people that I love school. I love learning. I love to learn about new things. So I was into all these different programs and all these different niches and different learning opportunities. Whenever somebody was offering a grant, I was applying. And 9 out of 10, I told you guys I'm resourceful. I would get the grant. So I was taking this course about substance abuse. And then, you know, my real niche is neurodivergence. My niche is OCD. Like, I love working with people who have OCD. That's just my passion. But people have autism, ADHD, so on and so forth. That's my niche. I want to learn about that to the point where I'm considering going back to school for something else, but we'll talk about that later on. I digress. But what I'm learning is when you say niche, it's like specialty, it's focus. That's exactly what you need to do, Jen. It's focus. Like, you know, I'm doing way too much. Like, my spoon is in way too many pots. Like, you know, I'm running a company and I work full time for another company, which is crazy. It's crazy. And then at one point I was doing that, and I was going to, like, you know, school for that substance use disorder certificate, which I still have to finish, by the way. But my spoon is always in so many pies because I feel like if I'm not moving, I'm not succeeding. But I'm learning to, like, you know, prioritize my rest. And I'm learning to kind of like niche, honestly, specialize in one thing. Because if I don't start to specialize in one thing, then everything begins to fail. And that's kind of how I feel right now. I feel like, you know, I was just sitting, and because I'm so overwhelmed with how much stuff is like going on, sitting and watching like all these deductions come out, like my business account, and I'm like, I don't, you know, where it's going or what's going on or what that's doing or whatever. And this is me being transparent. Like, I'll deal with it later. I'll figure it out later. And later never comes because you're just so overwhelmed. So I'm going to have to close down shop. And by no means do I mean close my business. I mean close down shop as it pertains to being open for everything, taking on every opportunity. Like, you know, I was talking about supervision. I'm licensed to supervise in Illinois. Well, you know, the criteria for Tennessee is different. The criteria for Texas is different. The criteria for California is different. All these different things. It's just a lot. It's really a lot. So my goal is to kind of minimize the things that I take in. There's a lot of opportunity for mental health providers because there is a lot of need. A lot of times, and I posted a video before about, like, you know, people saying like social workers don't make money, and, you know, there's like, you know, basically we're useless. That is an old wise tale. Some social workers may not, you know, just like any other career, entry level is entry level. But when you're LCSW and there's such a need for mental health services and clinical services, it can be overwhelming with all the opportunity that's being thrown at you, right? So just kind of like learning to, like, you know, turn down some opportunities. Every opportunity isn't the best opportunity for me or Veneva. And I'm going to learn how to manage my time better, prioritize, like, you know, me as an individual. Because, like I said, when I want to help, when I get invested in helping you, sometimes I can put the needs of others above mine. That's something that I need to work on, and I'll continue to work on that. But right now, the most important thing is me identifying where I'm making mistakes. I'm taking on too much, too fast, and it's like, it's haywire, it's a lot, and I need to will it on in, and I am. So this is me willing it in. And then, too, with the social media, I want to, like, you know, have this social media presence. And don't try to be fooled by my 300 followers, because I get tens of thousands of views, okay? See, okay. But I want to do, like, you know, social media too, and like post these videos. And then sometimes I have times where I'm like ghost. Is because I'm working. I got so much going on. I'm supposed to be working 4 days a week with my full-time job, and I, you know, work my business like sparingly, really honestly not sparingly, because I don't know how much I want to tell y'all, but working a full-time job versus working contracts for myself is kind of hustling backwards a little bit. But I want the consistency, and I can get into it in another video. The point of this video is making mistakes, taking on too much too fast. Every opportunity is not a good opportunity. Some overhead is unnecessary, like that office I'm getting rid of. The EHR I was telling you about, kind of doing things that's causing me to have to hire people. I don't want to do that. So I'm willing to bag, you know, coming in. I'm going to continue to be fully remote, continue to run my company from my closet. I'm going to start minimizing the opportunities that I take on, and I'm going to focus on certain things. I'm going to minimize how many hours I work per week, because right now I work like a mad lady. And I like that too. It gives me a rush of adrenaline. but I want to be more present and aware for my family. Because they're growing up fast. Oh my goodness. You'll see like your kids like toddling down the road, and all of a sudden they can graduate from high school. This time I'm really rolling, whether you're doing something or not. But I digress. So focus is my my what I need to do. It's the focus is where I am right now, trying to gain focus and clarity. So I'm slowing it down. I'm kind of taking it back to the basics, and I'm cutting a lot of things and a lot of people out. So that's one thing. What else was I gonna tell you guys? I don't know. I forgot. Oh, California. So Cher, look, okay, with the application, I was in this major rush, like major key. I'm like, okay, I need to pass this exam. So y'all don't even know like how many hours on top of the hours I was putting in to study for that exam. I went in, I was supposed to take the exam like late July. I told my husband, I want to push it and I'm going to take it, within 2 weeks. I did. I passed it. Thank God. Whew, thank God. I passed it. And then I was like, I'm gonna rush and send in my application. Child, do y'all know I sent in my application and it's lost? I'm still not able to get my California license, having to wrestle with the post office trying to fan my application. And the thing about it is I paid this extra fee to rush my license, and now the thing is lost. So after July 1st, the fee is cut in half. And I sent the cashier's check, so now I gotta go through all this process. So it's a mess. So haste makes waste. Slow it down, calm down. You're gonna get it. Prioritize peace, your mental health. Take your time. Everything don't have to be in here and now. And I'm gonna try to have more of a social media presence. Sometimes social media kind of gets on my nerve a little bit because it's real negative. And I'm trying to live a life of positivity. I'm trying to live a life of joy, and I'm a hope dealer, and I want it to be hope. But sometimes it's just, so that's why I try to get off social media a little bit too. But I'm going to try to have more of a presence. I thank you guys for coming to the Gen Spin. I thank you for indulging me for these like almost 18 minutes. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to me at JenniferAllen@VenevAWellness.com. I'll be more than happy to talk to you about anything that I know is business, as far as business. I am not an expert. And what I am learning is stop wasting money on the premium package and kind of utilize your money for something that's beneficial, like an attorney, a CPA, an accountant, people who help you manage the big dog stuff. The rest of the stuff you can figure out. You probably can figure out the money stuff too. But me, I need help cutting numbers. So learning where to invest your money where it matters. But yeah, y'all know I'm here. So if y'all have any questions, feel free to reach out. I hope that y'all have a great weekend. And I thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye.